Guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. So, I recorded this whole video already, and then afterwards I was kind of looking at it and I was like, dude, why did I share the 10 champions that I use the most and not go over any of their actual, how I have them built out, right? Instead, I just kind of talked about their abilities, most of which, you guys probably already know what they do. So I thought I would re-record the video and actually give you how I have them built out, and depending on where I'm actually using them in the game. Now, this whole video idea came to me last night. I was kind of thinking to myself, okay, Ash, what are you going to make for your next Raid Shadow Legends video? What are you going to do? I thought to myself, I wonder what champions you guys, my viewers, use the most in the game. That'd be actually interesting to know. So drop like the champions that you use on multiple teams the most often. Like if you had to give maybe your top 3 champions that you use the most in this game, not your favorite, that you use the most, go ahead and let me know. But then I thought to myself, why not share that with my viewers too? So I've identified 10 champions in the game that I use in at least 2 areas on my main go-to team. I'm gonna share those with you guys today, and who knows, maybe you have some of these champions, you didn't realize their full potential or capabilities, and you can slot them into your main team. Maybe it will improve your area of the game, that dungeon or arena or clan boss, whatever. So anyway, guys, let's go ahead and just jump into it here. And I want to kind of show you my teams first, or at the same time as I'm doing this. And let's go ahead and start out. Like I said, I think I only have 4 legendaries on the list, 1 rare and 5 epics. Let's start out with one of the legendary champions, and that is Prince Kymar. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you guys know I am a big fan of Prince Kymar. Let's go ahead and show him. He runs a arena lead for me in most of my compositions. I'd say 75% of the time, even in Platinum Arena. I'm in Platinum Arena right now, but it is day 1, so everything's really easy of the week on a Monday here at the time of this recording. But he's great in the arena because he has the insane aura, 30% speed, but he also has this A2, attacks all enemies, removes all buffs, and then places a sleep debuff. Now, sleep isn't the strongest ability in the game, but it's definitely good for the arena because you can control when you damage the next champions and wake them up from their slumber, okay? And then he has, of course, the ability that he's known for dungeons, and this is why I run him on my Spiders auto team, but it's his A3. Let's see if we can even get to it here. Yep, so the Seal of Magic ability, you guys see it in the lower right-hand corner. There we go. Mirror effect bugging me out here. Resets the cooldown of all allies' skills. Fills the turn meter of all allies except this champion by 20% on a 6-turn cooldown, but it is an insane ability, guys. Boom, the turn meter increases by 20%, and then all of my abilities are refreshed on all of my champions. So Prince Kymar I use both there, and I also use him on my Dragons team sometimes, so we can lay those poisons, reset abilities, and help a little bit with the CC, even though sleep on auto is really not that great. And of course, on my Spider auto team, or excuse me, my Spider manual team, I said auto before, I apologize, I can use him to reset the cooldowns of Heartseeker and Takedown on my Coldheart and on my Royal Guard. So that is the first champion that I use in multiple areas. It is Prince Kymar. Next up, let's talk about one guy who I'm starting to use much and much less actually right now, and he's going to be replaced by another guy later down on the list, but I still use him in 2 areas, and it is both in Dragon's Lair and in Clan Boss here. You can see my main Clan Boss team, and that's right, he's right there in the lead. It's Tayrell. So Tayrell is still an S-tier epic champion, still one of the best in the game. I actually use another guy more often now, however, but he has a great aura. He has that ally defense in all battles by 25%, and he has the decreased defense on his A2, the decreased attack on his A1. So as part of a counterattack team, he's absolutely great, right? And you can see how I have him built out, and I will show you Kymar in a second too. I have him with a lot of defense, 3,500 plus ideally. I have him with crit rate, crit damage, 209 speed. He is speed tuned. And of course, his accuracy over 300 ideally for Ultra Nightmare. So that is my Tayrell. I use him in Clan Boss as well because, in Dragon's Lair as well, because that is an appropriate affinity matchup for him. I use, like I said, I'm sure some of you guys can guess, I use another champion in all the other dungeons as my debuffer, but Tayrell is my main debuffer against Clan Boss and, of course, in the Dragon's Lair. And by the way, I forgot to show you, I had that big spiel at the beginning about how I'm not showing you how I build these guys out. And then I forgot to show you Kymar. Way to go, Ash. So Prince Kymar, there he is. I actually have him in speed gear and divine speed gear. I have him built out with a lot of speed, 246, a decent, decent on all the health stats, 2600 on defense, 2200 on attack, 40k on HP. Most importantly though, the debuff accuracy. I really want to be landing those sleeps with my Kymar on my arena team, so almost 400 on the accuracy, and I achieved that by putting him in an accuracy chest. I think he might be the only champion right now that I actually run in an accuracy chest on any of my main teams, but I find it incredibly beneficial. Maybe Cerise I might do the same thing for. She actually doesn't make this list because I use other champions as debuffers and buff strippers right now. Anyway, let's move into the third champion. So quickly becoming one of my favorite champions in the game, it is Stag Knight. I figured I'd go right from Tyrell to the guy who's replaced him on a bunch of my teams. So he is my main debuffer on 3 of my main, level 20 dungeon teams. Fire Knight, I use him in Fire Knight, I use him in Ice Golem, and I also use him in Spiders 20. So he is my main debuffer. He's amazing. He has a simple kit. He's easy to build. You don't need OP gear on him. I have him built out with a lot of speed, 224, because you want him going a lot to make sure he's keeping those debuffs on the opponents. 60k HP, so a lot of HP, a decent amount of defense. He's very robust. He's not going to die. Certainly not one of the first couple champions to die if I fail a run. And his crit rate is high as I could get it without crit rate gauntlets on him, and 110 crit damage. He's really not there to be putting out a bunch of offense for me. He's there to debuff and do it well and stay alive while doing so. His accuracy could be a little bit higher, but 273 gets the job done in the 3 dungeons that I use him in. So I have him built out. You guys saw how. So why is he so great? Well, Huntmaster is such an insane ability. Spot Quarry on his number 1, attacks 1 enemy 2 times, has a chance of laying that decreased speed, not bad for an A1. And then Huntmaster, his only other active ability, debuffs all the enemies, the strong version of decreased defense and decreased attack on an AoE on a 3-turn cooldown. Man, that's everything you need in a debuffer. He's incredible. You can use him anywhere in this game, in campaign and arena, just anywhere, honestly, guys. Stag Knight's incredible. By the way, guys, want to give a quick shout out to 3 champions who don't make the list, but who because I only use them in one area, but are 3 of my favorite champions. Allure for Fire Knight because of the turn meter manipulation on her A1. Queen Ava for campaign. She does all my campaign farming on her own as my only campaign farmer. That's the only area I use her in the game. And Krutraxa in the arena. I only use her in the arena, but she's really, really good at it, okay? So let's go ahead and move on to the next champion. So next up is Miscreated Monster. Miscreated Monster, I run him on my main Spider and my main Ice Golem team. He is my only kind of healer, even though he doesn't heal other champions. He has Ally Protect and he has shields on my Ice Golem. But I run him on Ice Golem 20 in a pretty fast team, sub 90-second team, and I do so without a healer. He's the only guy actually, supporting my team, with his shield. Anyway, I have him built out with a Immortal set, which is great on Miscreated Monster. Heals by 3% every turn. It's going to be helpful because he has that Ally Protect on him. Accuracy and a life set on him. You want to build him with as much HP as possible, and I have done so. 75k on the HP. His attack is meaningless. It doesn't matter at all because all of his damage scales off of his HP. So for that reason, you want to have his crit rate at 100. I have it at 105, and his resistance is actually pretty high too at 290. His debuff accuracy is at 203. So his accuracy could be higher, but I actually have him for some reason in an HP banner right now. I guess putting out a little bit extra damage with that HP and getting a little bit more value out of his heals. But I would actually replace this. Maybe I will use this banner here. It's an accuracy. Let me move my chair. Sorry, guys. An accuracy banner instead with a little bit of HP on there, but then double attack. Attacks you, but I have double attack on this one too. I don't know. I'll think about it. I'll probably go accuracy, though, because I want him to land his stuns. Anyway, guys, he does a great job of keeping my team alive in spiders. Obviously, his Lightning Storm ability, his A2 attacks all enemies, has a 50% chance of stunning them, and then places a shield buff on all allies for 3 turns equal to 25% of the damage inflicted. That's an insane AoE shield on all your allies ability, and it's great. It's alive, puts the ally protect, heals him by 50% of his HP, and places 15% continuous heal on him for 3 turns on a 4-turn cooldown. Just a great kit on Miscreated, and is a huge part of my teams, especially in spiders, but even in Ice Golem, has a chance of landing a fear too every time someone is attacked while under his ally protect. Next up, we got the big fella. It is Bigun. Bigun was my very first legendary on my account, guys, and I've used him ever since. He is a beast. I have him in accuracy and 2 crit damage sets. You can put him in all cruel gear and really make a monster out of him. I have great stats on my Bigun, but you know, they could probably even be a little bit better if I can get him into crit damage gauntlets instead. Right now he's in crit rate gauntlets, but his attack is still very high at 5,800. He has a low speed because I have attack boots on him. He is a nuker on my arena team. That's why I have him without the speed boots. If I wanted to include the speed boots, I could make him even better for the dungeons that I run him in, which are dragons and in ice golem. So he is on my main dragon, ice golem, and in my arena team, especially if I'm going against Rotos, because he has 2 multi-hitters in his kit. So his accuracy is at 302, which is great because he has 2 abilities that you need accuracy for, plus putting out a ton of damage. He is there on my dragons and on my ice golem team to help clear the waves really, really quickly. Putting him with a Stagnite is incredible because he's one-shotting oftentimes all these minions, even the high level minions in the level 20 dungeons. So that's how I have him built out here, guys. Let's go ahead and take a look really quickly at my full teams here in these dungeons where I use Bigun. So in Dragon's Lair, my team is, you can see I actually have Taro on this team, not Stagnite because of the affinity. So he's my debuffer. I have Turvold helping out on this team. I have Royal Guard, and I have Bigun just there to kind of help out with all the waves, help out between him and, well, I guess Royal Guard. Those waves don't stand a chance, right? And then on my Ice Golem team, I have Bigun. I think is one of my only legendaries on the Ice Golem team. Let's take a quick look. Yeah, he is my only legendary. I actually run him lead because his accuracy in dungeons by 90. 90 accuracy actually makes a big difference on a lot of champions that you think might already have enough accuracy. It's really helpful. So I run him in lead against Ice Golem. And again here, as I told you guys, he's the Miscreated's the only guys doing heal on this team. I have Stagnite there to debuff. And then between Dark Elaine, Royal Guard, and Bigun, forget it, man. Everybody is absolute toast in this battle. There are 3 strong nukers led by Bigun. Bigun has a stun on his A2, 30% chance of placing a stun debuff for 1 turn. That can be booked up to 45, actually make that 50% chance. And then turn meter manipulation decreases turn meter by 25%. On a 2-time attack on the Molten Slag is A3. Bigun's a really, really solid champion. So from legendary to rare, the only rare that I actually use on a consistent basis in more than 1 dungeon, so 2 dungeons plus, is Coldheart. And to the surprise of nobody, I run her in my Spiders team because of her Heartseeker ability. On her A3, fully depletes the target's turn meter and damage based on enemy max HP. She can crit for, you know, 1.3 million to 1.5 million damage against level 20 Spider, and a ton of damage against Fire Knight as well. She has a 4-hitter, excuse me, on her A1, which is great for Fire Knight's shield, so she can help get the shield down. Then when she does, boom, Heartseeker goes in and does a ton of damage, and Heartseeker does a ton of damage with the turn meter, also helping out against spiders. Now I have her built out, well, with not a ton of attack, not as much attack as you might think would be on a Coldheart at 3113. It's because she dies, right? She's very, very fragile with a very low 738 base defense and 13k HP. So I had to put her in defense on her chest. That's why the defense is 2154 and the attack is only 3113. I do have 79% crit rate because she has an extra 30% chance of critting on her A3, the Heartseeker ability, and then a 237 crit damage. Again, I could stand this crit damage to be a bit higher as well, but hey, all things being equal, debuff accuracy 177, would like to see that over 200 as well. So maybe I have a little bit of work to do on my Coldheart, but either way, I have her in speed, crit rate, and divine offense gear sets, and yeah, she's just a total beast. You can use her in so many different areas. That's where I use her. I'm sure a lot of you guys do too. So if you've been watching the channel for any amount of time here, guys, in the last couple weeks, you know how much I am in love with Dark Elaine. Top 3 epics in the game, just in terms of how much I use them and love them and just really value their kits on my teams, are Miscreated Monster, Stagnite, and Dark Elaine is right there in that conversation. She's amazing, guys, for Ice Golem especially, but you can use her as just your main nuker too. She puts out a lot of damage. I have her built really, really powerfully here. 5k attack. Almost 2k on the defense. She doesn't die. 31k on HP. Her speed is low at 137, but it doesn't really kind of matter, and we'll talk about why. Crit rate at 89%, could be 100, but still, look at her crit damage, guys. 281% on the crit damage. Accuracy is good on her, but it's not necessary, you know. On her A2, has a 50% chance of placing a 30% decreased speed debuff for 2 turns. That could be booked up to 75% chance. So I would like to see her have a higher accuracy. I could probably, you know, mess around with my stats, with my artifacts a little bit, and actually get the full value out of her kit with that decreased speed for 2 turns on an AoE, okay? So it's an AoE attack that actually scales really well, good multipliers on this ability, and on the A1, just a regular kind of attack. Her passives are where it's at, though. Fills her turn meter by 25% and instantly activates the A2 whenever this champion or an ally receives a freeze debuff. Now, when I first read this like an idiot, I thought that it just kind of instantly reduced the cooldown, instantly made the ability, you know, active on Death's Majesty. And no. She's just getting a free turn of doing her strong AoE nuke every single time an ally is frozen. It's insane, man. Sometimes she'll nuke like 4 times in 20 seconds. It's just, it's crazy, right? In 10 seconds. And then the Veins of Ice instantly removes any freeze debuffs on this champion and replaces them with increased crit rate, increased crit damage, and strengthen whenever an enemy places a freeze debuff on this champion. So great kit here. Let's go ahead and run a Dark Elaine Ice Golem team just so you can kind of see her in action, guys. Feel free to fast forward a minute or two if you guys don't really care to see her on this team. But, you know, we're talking about several champions that are on my list inside this very team so you can kind of see how it all works. So 11 seconds, 12 seconds on the first wave. This is a wave that people have trouble on, right, with the Reflect. So it's about killing them in time so they don't get the reflect up, or it's about simply CCing them, stunning them, or reducing their turn meter. And this team kind of does a little bit of everything here. Kind of bad luck on getting a couple stuns there, but Bigun's going to come in, help things out there, and so is Miscreated Monster. So I have a couple stunners on this team in Miscreated and in Bigun, and still that wasn't the fastest second wave there, but we're at the Fire Knight in about 42 seconds. Now you will see every time this freeze lands, this is where Dark Elaine is going to shine. So here it is, by the way, 71 and 94k I noticed on the crits on the 2 minions there on the Death's Majesty, and you guys are going to see she's going to be insane. So let's, okay, so everybody gets frozen, boom, Death's Majesty again. Now the minions are dead, and it's just like, and then she just took a turn right after that, right? And this is how it's like against Ice Golem, guys. It's incredible, man. I mean, she is just putting out so much damage, and in this case, it's not as prevalent. Picture her against a Tormund team in the arena, right? She is unbelievable in the arena against Tormund, because every time Tormund freezes anybody, and look at her, Death's Majesty. How many Death Majesties you got in you, Dark Elaine? I actually lost Miscreated Monster in this run, but I have 100% success rate on this run, so I guess just bad luck. But either way, man, dude, I mean, it's great, right? She's just, and there's a takedown of Royal Guard too, and it doesn't matter. I mean, we got somebody frozen, Stag Knight's frozen, Dark Elaine's gonna finish the job. She put out 1.4 million damage, more damage even than Royal Guard in that run. And dude, new best time at 142, unbelievable. I actually just kind of optimized this team, so I'm getting new best times pretty much every run that I run with these guys. But either way, guys, just a really, really strong champion in Dark Elaine. Again, I use her in Ice Golem, but primarily I use her in the arena. Anytime I'm facing Tormund, Dark Elaine gets right on my team. She's gonna start AoEing Death Majesty like all the time, right? Picture it every single time. Let's see, but you know what? Screw it, guys. So guys, in the arena here against Tormund, I put her on my team, and just watch how magical it is. I'm just gonna put somebody random in as kind of a last champion, because I want her to be doing all our damage here. So let's just put kind of a debuffer in there in Stag Knight, and check it out, guys. Check it out. So we're waiting for somebody to get frozen here on our team, and there it is, boom. Immediately, she's already, and then she gets to go again. I mean, the battle's already done. That's it. And now we just have to go on auto and kill Tormund. That's how, and look at 3 times in a row. every time someone gets frozen, she's gonna keep nuking the team. She's beautiful. I love her, and I don't have to have her built with a lot of speed because, you know, in the use cases that I'm going for, an Ice Golem and against Tormund, I mean, she's going so often that she doesn't need to be, I mean, she doesn't need to have the opponent, she doesn't need to be super fast, excuse me. So 167k damage put out by my Dark Elaine there. So that's Dark Elaine. Now, the other guy we talked about a little bit on my Dragon team, Ice Golem team, and Spider team is Royal Guard. Now, I won't spend a ton of time on Royal Guard, but his takedown ability, similar to Coldheart's, does a ton of damage based on enemy max HP. He can crit for, again, 1.3 to 1.6 damage, 1.6 million damage, that is, against bosses, especially the Spider. So for that reason, I run him in my in a lot of my teams, right? Because once we get to the boss, we need to take them down. They have a lot of HP. Having a champion in there who does damage based on max HP is incredibly beneficial. So I run him on my Dragon team as well. I run him lead in my Dragon team for his aura, which gives a 35% attack increase in all battle, or in dungeons, excuse me. And then, of course, like I told you guys, I do run him on my Spiders team as well. And just because of his ability, like Coldheart, just does a number against a variety of boss champions in the game. Royal Guard, in my opinion, is just one of the staple champions that once you unlock him, he's immediately going to be plugged into a lot of your main teams. That was the case with me as well. Oh, and real quick on my Royal Guard, guys, I could build him a lot better, but still, he has a 68% crit rate. He needs to be higher. Needs to be higher there, Ash. But 274 crit damage, that is A-okay, and a 4K attack is fine as well. He does have speed boots on him at 172 speed, so that is my Royal Guard. So talking about my Spider team, I use Trunda Gilt Mallet. Trunda Gilt Mallet, a Dwarf Champion, Magic Affinity, 2 legendaries to end off the video here, guys. I use her in the arena on occasion, certainly not as often as I use someone like Krutraxa, but she's really solid because of her A2, her A3, her Forge Rhythm, attacks all enemies. 70% chance of placing a stun debuff, 70% chance on an AoE for a stun is solid. Also places an HP burn debuff for 2 turns on enemies under stun debuffs. Places an extra hit on enemies not under stun debuffs. This is an insane ability here, guys. The HP burn, then the extra hit if the burn doesn't land, or if the stun doesn't land, and then the stun. She's great for CC, she's great for arena, she's great for Spider's Den, and I use her on my main Spiders team. She can put out an insane amount of damage, talking millions and millions of damage because of the HP burn, just doing so much damage per tick because of the spread of all the Spiderling damage and the Mother Spider. And again, it's all about this Forge Rhythm. It puts out a lot of damage too in the arena. She has kind of an interesting aura where increased magic ally attack in all battles by 36%, something you're probably not using too much, but whether it's campaign, whether it's the arena, just anywhere that you need help with HP burn and a nice kind of a CC ability on that A3. Her A2 too, by the way, attacks one enemy, then attacks all other enemies with a second hit, so a 2-hitter as well on her A2, and then her passive is pretty cool as well. This champion's resistance increases by 10 for each stun debuff the champion places, stacks up to 100, and this champion's speed increases by 5 for each enemy currently under an HP burn debuff, which is really solid too. She's just like a maniac, a speed maniac in Spider's Den. So Trunda Gilt Mallet is a champion that I use in 2 areas, arena and Spider. And last but not least on the list, guys, is going to be Bad Alcazar. So Bad Alcazar is on my Dragons team. He's also on my Clan Boss team. He's amazing for Clan Boss. You've probably heard this before, but because of the Malice ability being one of the best abilities inside the entire game, definitely, I should just do a ranking of the best abilities inside the game. I would put the Malice ability top 5. I really would. Removes all debuffs from all allies. Places 2 15% continuous heal buffs on all allies for 2 turns, and then places 2 5% poison debuffs on all enemies for 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. Bad L is one of those guys that you definitely want to be using your legendary books on. His passive helps out as well against both Dragon and Clan Boss especially. All allies inflict 15% more damage against targets under poison debuffs when you have Bad L on the team. That's going to help out dramatically, increasing the damage, especially Clan Boss, but also on Dragon. So there you have it, guys. Those are the champions that I use the most in the game. Again, reminder to you guys, let me know who you use the most inside the game. Let me know if you saw a champion maybe in my vault or in my champion collection that I ought to be using more. Is there a good replacement for any of the champions that you guys may have identified that I'm not thinking of inside this game? Go ahead and let me know in the comments. I have a bunch of legendaries who I haven't built out yet, but still, I do think that my teams are pretty well optimized considering the champions that I have. One thing that I'm kind of considering doing right now, the list is over, feel free to tune out if you guys don't care, but I want to try Killian the Lucky, just because I know a lot of you guys have him. I'm not sure where I would actually use him though, but I'm thinking about actually maxing out Steel Skull and putting him on my Clan Boss team instead of Turvold. I don't know if it's a good idea, but Turvold, you need to build a specific team around him. He kind of screws things up on a counterattack team by taking too many turns as well. So I'm looking for a good replacement by Turvold, but I can't have like a pure poison layer because I have Nethril on my team. So it's just too much poison if I have Bad L, Nethril, and probably even Steel Skull might be overkill. But anyway, guys, let me know what you think and let me know what champions you use the most in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, take care, guys.